True.
So like right now, nothing scares me. Honestly, nothing really scares me.
Even losing whatever you've built right now?
Honestly, it doesn't.
Ndege zote ziende?
It will be written in history books that a bunch of young people stormed Kenya's parliament.
Come 2027,
yes.
Will we see you maybe vying for a seat? I'm tempted to ask, how did you guys manage?
It was actually very interesting. I think we just wore out the cops. Because me tulianzana nao.
Okay.
Tulianziana hapo pronto. Mimi niliachwa.
Oh, uliachwa?
Yeah, mimi niliachwa. Yeah.
Kulienda aje? A pilot, a cyclist, a rider, a driver. Yani umsi hakuna kitu hawezi drive. Side eye. But anyway, imagine at the age of 27, owning 2 startup companies. I mean, this person is selling cars and also ndege. Yani umsi anauza magari na mandege. How now? But anyway, welcome to another exciting episode of Trendsetter Squad with myself, Jiwa Baru. And today's guest, he's not new to our social media, the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. KHALIF KAIRO. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
You know, recently you've been giving #Mau freedom fighter. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Yeah.
Welcome to the Trendsetter Squad.
Asante.
Kindly, you can introduce yourself to our viewers. Mwenye amekuona mara ya kwanza.
My name is KHALIF KAIRO. I'm a businessman.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm mostly in the business of selling cars and selling aeroplanes. Yeah.
Before we come to there, okay, I want us to start somewhere. Most of us, we came to know Cairo through cars, selling cars, jets and all that. Right now, we're in Rubani and all that.
Yeah.
But let us start somewhere. Give us a little backstory of how life was when you were growing up.
So I grew up in Kawangware. I was born in 96.
Okay.
I was born in Pumwani. I grew up in Kawangware. Actually, the whole of my life I grew up there. But over the holidays, I'd spend time also in my mom's village. So it's called Ndeya. It's in Limu. Yeah. So holidays kidogo Ndeya, but most of my life I've spent in Nairobi, Kawangware. So I'd say my guy was born in this city. Yeah.
Okay.
And I schooled at primary. I did Huduma Primary up until 2008. 2008 to 2010, I did Waldop, both of them in Kawangware. Then 2011, I had 1 year stint in Dagoretti High School. My mom was like, no, can't stay in this school. So I went to another school in Kikuyu. It's called Kahuhuru. So that's why I cleared. And then I finished high school in 2014. Joined college at ZTech, but I only lasted 1 semester. Dropped out.
Why? Able to press story? Give us the tea.
I think I don't know, because at the point I was dropping out, I was already working. I'd already gotten my first job as a car salesman. So I think that allure of because it's very different when you're out here versus when you're in school. So I dropped out, I think, because I was having a hard point juggling the two. But I did go back to school. So currently I'm a commercial pilot student. I've already done my first pilot's license. I have my private pilot license. So right now I'm working on my commercial. I'm actually almost done with school actually. Yeah, so I'm a student at Flight Star Academy. It's in Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Let me ask. Ulikuwa mtoto wa aina gani ukigrow up? Ulikuwa msumbufu?
No, I'm actually
the nice one.
No, I think my mom says I have an element of being, I'm a good guy. Okay. But they used to know that I didn't, if I didn't like something, I always made a point of saying I didn't like it. That's one thing my mom knew from like an early age. Even my parents, my family, they still say that to date. That if he doesn't like anything, so you really can't shove things down his throat. Yeah. So very obedient kid, disciplined. But in my teenage years, of course, you have the rebellious elements kidogo, but not just a rebel, but a rebel with a cause. Yeah. I actually got kind of like expelled in my last year in high school because
ulifanya nini?
Nilipanga strike.
Freedom fighter since then.
And nilipanga strike. But you see, I'm one of those guys that inapanga strike to chome shule nini. It's because there were like issues. So yeah, but apart from that, I'm not. I keep telling people that I'm a person who loves order to a certain extent. and in the process of seeking this order, seeking a balance on things, I can also rebel. But generally speaking, easy guy. Yeah, very easy. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We can start somewhere, okay?
Yeah.
You've given us your breakthrough, your background, okay?
Yes.
Now, how did Cairo become Cairo that we know right now?
Well, it's a process. You see, I've worked, got my first job in 2015, resigned in 2017, and I think from 2017 up to now, those have been my most defining years. You see, I've matured from a boy, smallly mature, silly boy, into now you start getting to a point where you become mature, maybe even become more godly.
Yeah.
Which is something I always stress, that once you know God and you become a believer, a Christian, and you start understanding things at a higher spiritual level, then now God is able to put you on track. But it doesn't happen in a month or two. It takes years. Yeah. Yeah.
I want the story. I want the story.
I mean, I keep saying I've seen very many bad things.
Okay.
Good things have happened to me, but I've also seen bad things. 2019, 2020, founded a company. Can't mention it for legal reasons because the matter is still in court.
Okay.
But I ended up losing this company somewhere around 2022. And that was a very defining moment for me because I lost everything. Yeah, looking back, I realized I lost everything. And I was brought down to zero. And whatever I had built, thinking that I'm very smart, very wise, everything went. So I had to start from scratch. So from 2022 was like a rebirth for me. And, I started going to church. I started becoming more godly. And I started realizing that, there is more to life more than just money. I learned some very critical lessons.
Yeah.
And, so from that point, I started Kai & Kairo. And now Kai & Kairo has brought me here, because through Kai & Kairo I've been able to become more influential, especially in the content creation game. Making, because I sell cars, so I make videos about cars. So it's been very instrumental in in defining who I have become. Yeah, it's been a very long journey, and there are very many aspects to it. There's the money aspect of business. There's the relationships aspect. Then there's also the aspect of God. So all these things play a huge role into defining who you become. Yeah.
Let me tell you, if I was you, ati na lose kila kitu, alafu unaanza tena, mimi ningekuwa nisha give up. What is something, let me ask you, what is something that gave you that push to start over? Usi give up, useme, hizo zimepotea, now let me look for something else, ama let me just stay.
By trusting God.
Okay.
Everything happens for a reason. I mean, look at the most defining figures in history. You'll notice that at one point, a man has to lose everything to a certain extent, yeah? To a certain extent, losing, and it's kind of like the phoenix, the story of the phoenix. So it gets burned down, then it has to get reborn. That's the whole point for me. So you have to lose everything and then become. So once you're at that point where you've lost everything and you understand and you don't complain, because that's a mistake people make. Don't complain to God.
Yeah.
Just tell yourself, there's a reason I have to go through this. And in most cases, it's to make you strong.
True.
So right now, nothing scares me. Honestly, nothing really scares me.
Even losing whatever you built right now.
Honestly, doesn't.
Ndege zote ziende.
Let me tell you, provided it's for, it's not losing blindly.
Okay.
Like if I lost things fighting for something I believe is, if I lost everything fighting for what I believe is right, even my own life, then I'm okay. It's something I've already made peace with. It has to be for the right thing. You can't lose everything because you're chasing buddies, no? Or you're living the hedonistic lifestyle. You need to be disciplined and say, if I'm going to lose everything because I'm fighting for a better society, it's fine. But again, you can't say I'm going to lose everything because I have a cocaine addiction. No. You need to have certain principles and certain values that cannot be bought or compromised. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about principles, unataka kusema you do not have fun as a, you're young and all that.
I think over the years, as I grow older, I party less nowadays.
Okay.
It's like I don't even drink nowadays. I drink I'm a very social. I'll go to a point like have a single of whiskey, maybe of a business transaction. That's it. You wouldn't find me in a club for whatever reason, past 12 or 1. But you see, there's a time I'd go home at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. Understand? But now, as I grow older, I've become more disciplined. Yeah, I become more disciplined.
Let me ask you, do you think that is something that the young people right now, tuna lack discipline? Yeah. That's why tunajiuliza, how is Kairo able to build such a thing and I am not able? Do you think that's the case?
There are 2 elements to it. There's number 1, you need to be in touch with your spiritual side, which is what a lot of people lack. Everything in life is spiritual. This might sound like a sermon, but everything in life is spiritual. Wealth, poverty, death, everything, there's always a spiritual element to things. Before things happen in the real life, I believe they first happen in the spiritual. So you first have to control your spiritual, and the only way you control your spiritual aspect is you need to be in sync with God. This is the secret I tell people. You need to be in sync with God. You need to understand, what does God want me to do? Don't do things for your own gratification. Try to appease God. Don't try to appease your friends. I've done that. I've tried to appease friends, and I've tried to appease ex-girlfriends, and all it brought me was more problems. So what you do is try to appease God. Then in the process of appeasing God, you actually end up becoming disciplined, because God stands for order. Yeah. The whole Bible is all about what you should not do, how you should act, how you should talk, how you should reason. So those things, the world runs on order. Lazima kuwe na that structure. Understand? So a lot of people, once you miss the element of being spiritual, and you're living amongst other people who are spiritual, and some are not spiritual in a good way, then you're in a lot of trouble. Because you'll always keep wondering, why are things always going bad for me? You put a lot of effort, things in Aisha. But it's because you've never really understood your roots, number 1. Because remember, we come from an African setup. So there are those roots our forefathers put. So you need to be in sync with all these things. And as I said earlier, it takes time. Some realize this at 40. Others, like myself, realized this when I was, I think, 25. So it might vary, but the earlier you realize it, the better for you. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's giving. Nikawa natuambia ni God.
No, ni God. People make it a joke, and people have made it up. I mean, but ni God. Me, there are things I go through, and I just sit back and I'm like, this wasn't me.
It's God.
I know I can't take credit. Like I'd be so foolish to let hubris enter me. Nianze kusema, bro, wajo mimi ndo mse fika mali bedo nasema ni aje ni Mungu. This see me. All these things you see.
Yeah,
the
nice office,
the cars. Yeah. Because what God does, God puts you on the right path. God sets up some of these things. So iko unanielewa. Kuna vitu tu zina happening, unasema ilikuwa bahati yangu, but iko bahati. It was just God putting you away from harm. Linking you with the right people. I know you've been in those situations. Kama unasema kitu iliniambia nisiende hapo, but si kitu. In most cases is that it's God talking to you, communicating to you. Yeah. So we give credit to God, but much as God will do things for you, there's also that part you must play.
Yeah.
Because you will be put through temptation, you will be put through challenges, and your will be tested. And that is where now you have to play your part as the human, where you are, even despite everything, lazima ukae kwa hiyo track yenye Mungu anataka ukae. Yeah.
You've talked about losing and also your will being tested and all that.
Yeah.
When did life present itself the toughest in your life?
I think if I made it through 2022, I don't think there's anything that that life can throw at me. Inishinde. Trust, I've seen worse. That was bad. Yeah, that was bad. But despite everything I went through, despite the people who put me through that thing, forgave everything, forgave everyone, let it go. And nowadays I'm just easy. Yeah.
Lesson learned from that?
Don't trust people. Put your trust in God.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so curious.
Yeah.
You've mentioned about your mom, you've mentioned about your schooling.
Yeah.
But I would really love to know, how was life growing up?
Well,
your home and all that.
You know, I grew up in the ghetto, so life in the ghetto is fun.
When in ghetto.
I enjoyed it, to be very honest. I keep telling people that I realized we were poor when I went to high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
How?
Because because in the ghetto, if you school in the ghetto, all your friends are from the ghetto.
Shida ni the same.
Shida zenyu tu ni the same.
Mna relatiana.
Hakuna mtu anadropiwa chuo.
Lakini Hope Center si ya ghetto.
Hapana, Hope Center imeniba.
Hope Center iko na wazungu.
Yeah, hapana, Hope Center ilikuwa na hata huduma iko na wazungu. But here's the thing,
okay.
like now from a class setup.
Oh.
So I get like go Daro.
Okay.
Like sanda semaje, hakuna team so dropiwa shule. Na Prado.
Okay.
If guys walk to school, kuna mtu amepewa 10 bob anishuko coast.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Kwa 46 ndio anapanda like
wengine wateremka hivi Gatina.
Bas kuna raia Gatina, kuna watu 56. So kuna watu wa Kona. Una get?
Yeah.
So you all the same to a certain extent. And and you know, like now from my parents, my mom used to run a small shop in Amboseli.
Okay.
So to a certain extent, I think I lived sisi sema mimi ati nilikula shida. Ojile like ati me there's no point. My mom worked so hard. That lady used to wake up at my entire life miss ona mother yake amka 9 ama 8 am. My mom the latest she'd wake up is 6 am. Yeah. So right now she's retired, she doesn't work.
Yeah.
But that lady like that lady was hardworking. My dad the same thing. My dad wasn't married to my mom, but he was in the picture. Okay. Again, very very regular hardworking people. Like just easy people, straightforward, honest, and not rich. Just standard kawaida guys. Yeah. But now you see sasa me and my big sister, my mom used to say, these kids like the good life. So you gonna get. Cause mimi kwanza used to read a lot. So hata nikiwa class 8, class 7 nasomanga magazine. Naona kuna gari nito Pagalizonda. And I need this. Naona La Ferrari. Nasema okay. So you see, so reading a lot opens up your brain pia. So you might be in the ghetto, but vitu zinakufungua brain. Vitu zinakufungua. But now where you realize you're poor is when you leave the ghetto and you go to high school. Mika venile nangadago, like that was like a very defining moment for me. Juu hapo bana ndio unaenda wapata. Mko daro moja na msee mamake anafanya kazi Safcom. Na ni mtu senior.
Yeah.
Jamaa anakujua nini visiting day crazy. Baadhi mimi ananiachia mimi nakumkanga bana tumefungua nimeacha form 1. Baadhi ananiachia ring pocket money ya 600.
kuna canteen shule.
Na kuna canteen na kuna msee anaachia pocket money ya 10,000, 6,000. Hiyo shule kwanza dago ilikuwa na wasudi wengi pia. So these guys are balling.
I know, right?
So hapo ndo na realize we. And then in when you're in form 1 now hapo ndio sasa classism inakam. Pata kuna wale wase ni wabola wa shule, ma cool kid. But Kawangware hakuna cool kid. Sinyi wote tu ni watu wa ghetto, you know. Hapo ndo pata enter kuna wase, you know, as we listen to hip hop. Alafu kuna watu wa reggae wa ghetto.
Sasa ulikuwa wa reggae.
Mimi mtu wa reggae, mimi napenda reggae mbaya sana. Today by the way, na wiki moja ikisha kasi jenda reggae nasikianga mbaya.
Ala, unaendanga Aluta?
Naendanga kuna nani Aluta ile pale Quiver. Napenda reggae sana. There's this guy Mo Spice, very good friend of mine.
Okay. So when you are home, That's so inspiring. But let's talk about the recent demonstrations that were there. Okay, tulikuona pale forefront, dodging the bullets, being a freedom fighter. Let's talk about it. What's your take on that? The whole thing, in general.
People don't realize it, but we've just made history as a country. Many years from now, hundreds of years from now, it will be written in history books that a bunch of young people stormed Kenya's parliament. And everything changed. You may not realize it, but things have changed already. There's a new mood in the country.
True.
Yeah. And what's happening is we are at a point where the old guard is coming out and the new guard will come in. Kwa hiyo point very redefining. Where the old guard inatoka and the new guard inaingia. The old guard being the boomers, aitango Gen X, now our parents. Wazazi wetu ndio wanaenda wakiondokea. Na wazazi wetu bado ndio wako kwa most of these senior leadership positions.
True.
So what you're seeing is rebellion is more or less like a rebellion and a movement that's cropping up. Is basically a new order coming in. And this new order is going to be led by young people. Yeah. Na hata kama kutabaki na wazee kwa government what not the ideas of the young people ndio tunazikimplementiwa mostly. Yeah.
I saw you talking about something. You tweeted something on your Twitter about having a Gen Z millennial political party. Yes,
I feel it's a good idea.
Okay,
because,
why?
Because if you're going to change this country, we need to drain the entire swamp. There's no way about it. Draining the entire swamp means we need to, just change the whole establishment. In the sense that we need to see fresh leaders. It needs to be very, very fresh people. A new breed of leaders. A new breed, new faces. It can't be the old guys. And one of the things that is needed is that for any movement or revolution, if you read this story to make sense, it needs to have clear objectives. It needs to have clear structures. We need to know why are we fighting. We can't just be rebels without cause. We need, because also take note, there's the movement and there's country. Countries are run by businesses actually. Businesses are commerce inafanyanga inchi na inaendelea. And commerce cannot thrive when kuna chaos. So ni lazima kukuwe na hata kama kuna movement, it needs to be within the existing structures. And the existing political structures in Kenya ni vitu kama parties, movements. So ndio happen, we need to organize ourselves as millennials. Tujiorganize vizuri tu. Tusemange by the objectives zetu ni number 1, enemy yetu kwanza ni corruption. You remember when kina the late founding father, Kenyatta, Jomo Kenyatta. When Kina Jomo came to power, they put out a list of things they thought were the enemies of Kenya. And if my memory serves me right, kulikuwa na ignorance, corruption, tribalism. Funny thing, we've never beaten those things. So if the Gen Zs decide to start a movement, lazima kukuwe na hizo, what are we fighting against? We are fighting against corruption. How do we defeat corruption? Then we have a couple of very bright minds. Say young vijana wa sharp. Kuja hapo nasema ni aje. Mimi, I went to university, nimesomea political science. Tunaweza mada corruption hivi. Tukitoka hapo tunaenda kwa manifesto ingine. Tunasema education. We want everybody to be educated. How do we achieve this? So as Gen Z movement, tuko na wing kwa hii organization yetu, where kuna very many smart people who create educational policies. Wanakuja wanatoa nini zao. Haya, tunakuja kwa biashara. I'm young. Kuna wanabiashara wengine wadogo. Tunasema sisi kama businessmen, tunafeel hapa ndo shida iko kwa inji. You get? So once we're able to break it down like that, have structures, have objectives, have goals, and have leadership, the current political establishment will not make it past 2027.
I saw someone saying, and we were also discussing with a friend of mine. So do you know who happened? When someone is outside here, so determined. We have seen young people also who have joined the, politics. Wako like, we want to change the country, we want to make a change. But once akalie yo kiti, I don't know what happens. Don't you think it will be the same story ata tukitengeneza our own Gen Z millennial party?
So I'll explain it like this. Picture dirty water.
Okay.
In a basin. What happens to this? This water is very dirty, it's very filthy. What happens when you take a liter of very clean water and you add it into this basin?
It will become dirty.
It will become dirty. Yeah. So what has been happening, and that's why I said people need to have structures. People need to have clear objectives, and people need a movement. Because the bucket as it stands right now is filthy and it smells. Understand? Put in 1 or 2 people won't solve anything. Because they are going into a system that is already dirty. But if we mobilize very well and decide that on the same way we went to the streets, we are going to vote in 2027 in the same numbers, we are going to remove that whole water. And we are going to bucket is going to be left empty, and we are going to add clean water.
Let me ask you, you're talking about we can remove the water and bring clean water.
Yes.
But recently, umekubali watu wakuwe na dialogue. Ukatoka kwa protest. Why?
because again, you cannot keep going to the streets forever and ever and ever. You also need to understand one thing. There are many higher powers that are at play in this thing, and that risk killing the movement before it even starts. Yeah. I'm not anybody's leader. I always keep clarifying that.
Na hujalipwa?
Na sijalipwa. You can't pay me.
Okay.
You know, honestly, you can't buy some of us. I went and risked my life, almost got killed in parliament, and I left a very nice car at home. I live in a nice neighborhood. I'm not struggling for anything. I have a solid business. I would have died on that day. What makes you think money can buy me? Money can't buy me. You get?
Yeah.
But here's the point. Again, we need to be objective. And we need to understand. Like today, I saw a piece in a local newspaper saying, hired goons were infiltrating the protests, which is very true. People, businesses were touched. And there are people, even within government, who will use this protest to do nasty things to people in government they have issues with. So when you realize that the movement can be sabotaged by nasty elements and people can die, from a strategic point of view and a logical point of view, emotions aside, the correct thing to do is hold the protest. Because even the government, when I said, like, please don't go to the streets, the government had already, like, said, you know what, we are pulling the bill out. So already one objective has been met. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, if there's clear organizational structure, the next idea would be come up with a raft of demands or lists. Go present them to the president or whoever is in charge and tell him, look, first of all, you have removed the bill. Now nobody is on the streets. But the conversation does not end here. Let's continue talking. But let me tell you something. Going to the streets every single day, fighting every single day does not. Even wars, even proper battles, even in Ukraine, where the Ukrainians are fighting against the Russians, they don't keep attacking every day. There are times during this battle where even soldiers have to be told, wait, let's hold this particular line. Don't attack any further. Hold this position first. Yeah. So I didn't say it from a point of being anybody's leader. And I'm even shocked at the backlash I got. Because me was telling my followers, honestly.
Walikusalimia kiasi.
Yeah, but you see, but you see at the end of the day,
yeah,
a country comes first.
True.
Imagine a situation, let's say tungematch State House and 100 people get killed. And then now the government digs in completely, declares a state of emergency, suspends the constitution. Then other issues erupt all over the country. We get? So in as much as we want change, as much as we want a better country, better governance, we need to act with a lot of wisdom. We need to act with a lot of wisdom. So that we don't give elements that do not even support this organization a chance. It's not even it's a movement. A chance to hide, infiltrate, and kill, maim, destroy people under the guise of the Gen Z movement. Yeah.
Come 2027,
yes,
will we see you maybe vying for a seat?
No. I'm not going to I'm not vying for any elective position.
Why? Kwa sababu I went through your comment section, and I think watu walikusamehea ni wachache kuliko watu walisema you need to be a leader, you need to vie for a seat.
Sorry, ati watu walini?
Walikusalimia. You know what it means. Ni wachache.
Yeah.
So wale wengi,
yeah, course, yeah.
Wale wengi ni wenye walikuambia, but this person is a leader, you need to vie for a seat. Why is it not in your considerations?
Not to be, to be very honest, I'm a patriot and I love this country.
Okay.
But this whole idea of just becoming a politician for me doesn't, cause me I'm a simple guy. Me I'm an easy guy. I keep telling guys they may enjoy the simplest things in life. I don't want to be called sijui honorable who, sijui mnakuja hapa mnapata ma red carpet huku, sijui Prado tatu zinanigoja. I hate that thing. I just learned to drive my car without tint. You see the way I came? He can tell you, I work with Zach. I don't have a driver. Who works for me? I don't like those trappings of power. I believe that as a business person, we can make more impact. We don't need to be in those offices. I don't need to have CG red carpet, CG a coat of arms and a bunch of flags in the corner of my office. I don't need that stuff. We can be people of influence by simply calling the government out, advising the government. It's not just always about fighting. Also advise the government. When you see the government is going off track, we tell them, look, you people are not doing the right thing. Yeah. So for me, going into politics or being a politician, it's not really how I envision myself, to be very honest. Yeah.
So we wouldn't see you.
No, trust me, I'm not vying for any seat in 2027.
Now let's assume you've talked about Prados and all that. You know, hizo vitu zote za mheshimiwa. Let's assume that's not there. Hauna kale kakituka kusema, I think when I'm in this position I can do better, I can do something bigger.
Well, it depends. Two things. As I said, I'm a patriot.
Okay.
If the people tell me, look, we think you would sit well in this position, or we are fronting you to be our leader.
Okay.
Now that is a higher calling.
Okay.
They say the sound of the people is the sound of God. So we are driven, some of us are driven by God. Okay. The element of, it's God who tells us what our next move is. So I can't impose myself in the same way. From today, or I go look for a seat, no. If they feel he actually represents what we want to be done or what we feel should be done, it's fine. But
so watu wakikuja wakiseme, Kairo, this is your seat, we need you to vie for this seat.
Now, yeah, if people lay in very good numbers or semeniaje, do this, X, Y, Z, that makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway, let's jump to a bit of drama. Let's jump to a little bit of drama, okay?
Yeah.
Let me start here. What is something, what is the craziest assumption that people make on social media ama ushaisikia kukuhusu?
A lot of people have this impression that I'm arrogant.
Okay.
Or very proud. Okay. But I'm not. Yeah.
You think you're not?
No, I know I'm not.
Okay.
Najua I'm not. Like I know I'm not. Like because it's always what I get from a lot of people. Bana nilikuwa nafikiria usijui utakuaje, but I'm like no.
Kwani ushaiongelesha mtu vibaya?
Mmoja Twitter nakuanga gloves off Twitter sekangi watu.
Twitter unawapasha? Unawasalimia?
Twitter tunapigananga vibaya sana. Mimi na walimanga huko siwekangi because the app itself is toxic.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to join a bunch of people with black hats and start playing tango aje nianze kujifanya hapo pacifist. You come at me with a knife. Mimi nakutolea.
I serve you the same.
Bazooka.
Nimesikia wase wakisema, si mimi. Nimesikia tu kwa social media tu. Mara Kairo anatudanganya. Hizi ni wash. Hapa si ndege na hizi si gari. Hizi pesa alitoa wapi?
Actually, it's even good you mentioned that. People have had 2 years.
Okay.
Watu wanaambianga like all these people on social media. Do you know how good Kenyans are? Like that killer cop.
Yeah.
Hata walieka ID number, wakaweka KRA number yake, wakaweka watoto wake, wako form gani na payslip.
Wako shule gani, everything.
Walimwekea online.
Okay.
Do you want to tell me the same Kenyans up to now, unless you're trying to insinuate I'm so smart that nimeishi kukono watu, nimeishi juoshosh na mimi nasemangi ni wizi. Nakuniambia nimeishi kuibia watu miaka yote and nobody, no single case, no single police file on me has ever been opened. How good can I be? To the point that I may travel to countries like Japan, which are like some of the hardest countries on earth to get a visa. I travel to the US, I have a US visa. I'm able to go into all of these countries with very little problems or anything. Of course, that should tell you that despite what people insinuate, I'm actually a legit businessman.
Okay.
And we sell cars. We have a dealership on Kiambu Road. End up, it's a Saturday, you'll find people buying cars. I think we sell a car almost every day. So we're in business. So si ati tuna nini, he doesn't sell aircraft. Jana I dropped a video on YouTube delivering a plane from Johannesburg to Nairobi for a client based in Kenya. That plane is worth 50 million. Kwa tunafanya kazi ya charity. You see we are putting effort.
Yeah.
Na Mungu anasaidia ikijipa. We make small money. Kidogo mambo inaendelea tu improve. So over time that narrative inaenda ikisha nguvu. Or do you think I'd been washed and be like going for protest? Criminals are some of the most selfish people.
Yeah, true.
I'd probably be sitting at home in a jacuzzi with 2 buddies.
Nama buddies. Mau buddies.
There's one phrase that lives rent free in my head. How do you tear gas a buddy? Hiyo kitu inazidi play kwa kichwa yangu. Sifuna unatuonyesha mambo.
Unatia gas aje buddy?
How do you tear gas a buddy? So yeah, basically yeah. So I'm an easy guy.
Okay.
I'm a honest person. I have no pending criminal cases anywhere. Na misjibia mtu. Yeah. Na sitaibia mtu. Yes. Stay kusema I'm a truthful man.
Oh. I'm truthful. We draw the line. We draw the line.
No, but let me just say I love God.
Okay.
And I don't like doing bad things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next question, I determine this interview kama itaendelea ama itaachia hapa. But before I ask that question, give us 3 things.
Yeah.
Okay? 3 points zenye unaweza taka mseyang apate pale. So that maybe someone who is looking up to you, mse anakuangalianga anasema mimi nataka kuwa katu Kairo. Ama more than.
God is the creator of the universe and the creator of everything in it.
Okay.
If you want nice cars, if you want a beautiful wife, if you want a beautiful family, if you want all the good things that a lot of humans want, seek God first. He has everything. Second thing is be a person of values. Kuwa na values zako. And the third thing is don't be a coward.
Okay.
Usiogopa.
Hukuogopa. Parliament muliingia?
Tuliingia.
Ulikula chakula? Hebu tell us, parliament kunakaa aje? Mimi ni wale wa kusema endeni tunaenda, but I won't go there.
Mimi nilifika hapo kwa garden. Tulikuwa hapo.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there. I didn't go really inside uko ndani.
Okay.
But tuliingia uko ndani.
You know, I'm tempted to ask, how did you guys manage?
It was actually very interesting. I think we just wore out the cops because me tulianzana nao.
Okay.
Tulianziana hapo pronto.
Okay.
Watu wa pronto tulisumbuana. Walikuwa narusha tear gas, returning officers tunarudisha.
Mulikuwa na tennis.
Bro, physical activity. Nilikuwa naangalia smartwatch yangu naona venye calories zinachomeka. Anabambika.
Unasema uko gym, uko workout.
So tulifika hapo tukaingia City Hall.
Okay.
Tukawasukuma. Tukafika pale Parliament. So the blunder these guys did is they all retreated to Parliament pale kwa gate.
Okay.
Alafu sasa kulikuwa na battalion nyingine sijui imetoka wapi. So sisi tukiwa hapa kwa roundabout we broke into 2 sections. So kwa sisi tulikuwa hapa mbele ya nini and then so mimi kidogo tunasalimiana, tunafanya co-curricular activities na wasi wa GSC kwa hapo mbele ya pale. Mimi naona wasi wengine wamefence imeanza kushuka. So tukadetach and then tukaingia. It was basically that funny.
Let me tell you, you guys, you made us proud, by the way. You made us proud. That was so insane. But anyway, my last question. Yeah? Tafadhali tusikasirikiane after this interview. You and Sarah munatubeba. Hakuna story ya kuachana. Hiyo hata sitakwambia I had it. Mimi ndio nimesema.
Mimi niliachwa.
Uliachwa?
Mimi niliachwa.
Kulienda aje? Ama that's still for another day?
No, like I think you know relationships are tricky. Relationships seek to ngumu, especially for some of us. There's too much at stake. Too much at stake in the sense that at times that akupatia them attention. Women want to be cared for. Women want to be given attention. At times for some of us, because of the sort of responsibilities Mungu ametuwekea, becomes a bit of a problem. And in any relationship now, that is going to bring very many issues. So it just didn't work out. Me don't chase clout. I wouldn't sit in front of this camera and say niseme bede like niliwachwa na sijawachwa. Mimi niliwachwa. Niko very very lonely.
Na kuna kashori, we saw another shori, the pilot shori.
Well, that's my friend. We've been flying with us since Lini. We used to be in the same
Kairo.
school. Mtu wezi kwa na nini. You're only like my parents. They call me. Like, we saw you the road trend around Lini. And I told my dad, look.
Selfie hapa na pale.
I can't even take a photo with a Rwandese body.
Talking about body, in the spirit of Gen Z, nataka nikufunze kitu. Do you dance or sing? What do you do?
I can't sing.
You can't. Ushajaribu?
Gazi, like I can't. I'm
Bona?
so stiff. Me have to left foot.
Sawa, tunajaribu hizo left foot leo. Gani hiyo?
Kwangaje. Relo dance aje.
Kitu kai.
Hiyo. Baba.
Sawa, tunaanza na hiyo, sawa. So ni
hivi. Inakwangaje wewe venye banana struggle.
Okay. Sasa yangu nataka kufunza rahisi tu. Unajua godha?
Godha. Godha. Niyo ndo unafanya nini?
Ni hivi. So unafanya hivi, alafu unaweka mguu hivi. Alafu unarusha hivi. Ukifanya hivi, sawa? So hii inaenda hivi, venye unaleta mguu hivi na hii mikono unaweka hivi. Sawa? Tuanze 1 2 3 go.
Okay.
Godha tena.
But I can't, I'm too stiff for life.
Tulikuwa tumalizie kama crew Cairo.
Sawa.
1 2 3 go. Godha tena. Alafu tunamalizia hivi. Hapana, si hivyo. Hivi, turn hivi. Alafu hivi.
Interesting.
Alafu unamaliza na trend squad.
Nice, trend squad. Interesting.
Thank you so much.
Asante.
Umekuwa dancer sasa, si ndio?
I'll try perfect the moves. Yeah.